Hello guys, we're going to start here in just a minute. Just going to share the link here. I'm doing good, Eli. How you doing? Some GSW action here. Opening match, we got CM Punk versus Owen Hart in a submission match. That's good. That's good, Eli. Oh, Punk. Let's see. Oh. Oh yeah, it's FTOA. Where is it? There it is. Took me a minute. Alright, let's see how it goes here. Punk from FTOA, a little inter-promotional match here. Miss spinning heel kick. Oh, an arrow stretch.
Give up.
Drop kick in the back of the head. Chop. Spinning heel kick kicks him out of the ring. There, bow and arrow stretch.
Give up.
Yeah, I've been having earlier shifts of work, so I've been trying to keep up the pace at a reasonable time. I plan on streaming Star Fox's promotion a little bit later. Sharpshooter, so you guys have your section of the war done for the week. Counter. Drop kick. Yeah, the only thing about leaving streams till later in the evening is that there's times where my energy is just a little bit on the low side. So I like to try to do them a little bit in the sweet spot, just so that... Because I don't want to do them so god early that, like, everyone's still asleep or whatever, but I also don't want to do it too late either, because then I'm just, like, have low energy, like I said. Rock bottom. Going for the Anaconda Vice.
Give up. Give up. Give up. Give up.
But yeah, also, for those who watching, TWN's gonna start having a pay-per-view schedule. There's a poll out right now for the amount. So far, 12 pay-per-views in a year is the one being selected. There's several different selections, but there's two types. Like the first ones are ones on a strict schedule, and the later half of them are ones that are just like whenever. So that variation's the one that's getting the most right now. I am accepting ideas for pay-per-views as well. I haven't said this on the Discord yet, but I probably will. I plan this being kind of a clean slate kind of thing, so I don't plan on incorporating the combat tournament and League of Valkyrie event in that, because I feel like it'd be better to start with a clean slate as opposed to trying to incorporate the old stuff. All-Stars will continue. I'm a little bit unsure about Grapplecade. I don't know what I'm going to do with that one, so we'll just have to see. Yeah, it'll be interesting for sure. Oh, Superplex. DDT. Oh, Mr. Perfect's coming down. Oh, LGC, that reminds me. I'm glad you're in the chat. The main event, do you want that to be a threat or a dance? Oh, look. Oh no, that's Jeff Jarrett, not Mr. Perfect. Oh, figure four there. Belly to belly. Snap suplex. Oh, let's see, I mean threat. Threat is your default. I should make a note for the promotions on what they want their default multi-man matches to be. Because I feel like some promotions prefer one over the other a lot of the time. wrench. Right into a Dragon Sleeper. Oh, and he taps! I get you there. I get you there. Yeah, that's why I started doing the different definitions of stuff, because there's, yeah, little win for Owen. 89, solid match there to kick things off there. Now also give couple credits for that extra interpromotional win there. Next match, we got a rivalry, interpromotional rivalry in a cage, Bart and Billy, and this is the second of the match of that rivalry of 3, I believe. So we shall see how it turns out here. Alright, let's see. And then the guys here. Battle of the Smoking Buns. Nice. Oh my god, that's funny. I still gotta move Triple H to the free agency thing. Alright, let's see how it goes. Yeah. Well, I mean, I just think we're kind of at a point where we got, like, the amount of promotions we have doesn't equate to the amount of talents available. Because a lot of us, we're kind of at a point where we got a pretty big roster, and the shows we book and stuff are plenty of choices. Because most of us, at minimum, have, like, outside of SWA, that they're doing their own thing, most of us at minimum have like 20 guys, and with the max being, with the highest is 30, I believe. Well, no, 29 technically. So I think we're just all at a point where like we just only have so much room to book guys through stuff. I mean, there's the house show feature, but that's more for like story and statistics more than actual match entertainment. But what would really be nice if we were able to get another promotion or two that was specific towards like wrestling and not like boxing or MMA or video game characters. Even though that's fine, I have no problem with a promotion joins and wants to do something like that. But if, in terms of like maximizing the wrestling talent available, we almost need like 1 or 2 more of those kind of promotions to really gain the full max use of everybody. Because there's a lot of names in free agency that just aren't getting any use. some big ones too, but everyone has filled up rosters. Because even I'm getting close to like 30, and I'm just looking at it like, man, I don't know how I'm gonna manage to book all these guys without like relying on every match being like a tag team match. Yeah, the trick of it is we gotta have people that are able to maintain constant communication and reliability. You know, that's why I instilled the YWA test, because the guys, because it's kind of a test of how like dedicated they can get. Because so a lot of times they join YWA and they're active in it for a few weeks or so, and then they kind of die off a little bit, which. Oh, the Barton Buster, you just started it. Yeah, and you know what, that's not a bad idea to have a trios division. I added the Inferno division because I kind of wanted to like start developing like a WCW TV / cruiserweight style division, because I wanted to like really max in. I will, famous sir. I will say, I do plan on starting to like eliminate a couple stables soon. I do want to try to maybe trim the roster a little bit, because I want to start like being able to manage like more reasonably decent storylines long term. Because right now it's a little bit loose, a little bit. But yeah, like, the trick of it is, with that YWA test, is the only exception is, because Hang the Tank was brought in by DPS. DPS vouched for him, and he's been solid. So, really, that's the exception, like, unless either pass the YWA test, or you get, or someone within TWN vouches for you. Because it definitely, because having more promotions would be nice, but I'd rather just settle for guys gathering dust in free agency, as opposed to like putting everything together for one or two guys, and they kind of check out like halfway through or a couple weeks if it doesn't go the pace they're looking for, or you know, they get distracted by something. And then we got a bunch of people waiting for one or two people that just aren't paying attention. It just kind of drags a little bit, and it sucks, because I know a lot of those guys, it's not out of like purpose or anything, you know, it's just life, you know, and people get busy with stuff, and I get that. It's just something people have to have a built-in like desire to do, like the guys in it now, like the guys that eat and breathe the stuff. That's kind of what it takes a little bit. To an extent, it won't like control your life, but it is something that does require like a passion there. So I have thought about doing some sending some stuff on like the Fire Pro Reddit and Discord, but I always forget.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, Billy gets the win with the Famouser. Oh, wow. One and one, yeah. Alright, next match. The Brood and the Sword stable are going to be fighting for those trios titles. Oh, I'll put this in the Discord too, but that also reminds me, next season I'm going to introduce a new a hardcore fee for promotions, which what it's going to be is for any thanks LJC. Yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. But that hardcore, basically what it's going to be is anytime someone books a show that has more than one death match, like a cage, barb, or landmines, like after the first match they'll have to pay like a fee for more death matches. And I'm having it that way because the setup because one, it kind of takes, like, it doesn't take that much to set up. I mean, we're doing it right now, but it does. But I could more so for balance. It's a couple things. One is balance, because while you aren't guaranteed high ratings with death matches, I have started to notice that it feels like death matches could give you high ratings, maybe slightly. Cost points. Yeah, I think. Yeah, death matches I think definitely should, like, yeah, and they'll cost either. I'm a little undecided. Either it's more credits per extra death match, or just a big flat fee throughout the season where you'll get like unlimited death matches you can do, but it's like a big ass fee credits. I get, yeah, it's easy to mess up because we've used the point term for so long. Alright, yeah, see how it goes. Cause I want, and also with the way and also the realism part, because even ECW in its height didn't have barbed wire cage match and landmine death matches every show up the ass. I mean, things were spread out, like no DQ matches. You can kind of go crazy with that, and I don't mind that necessarily. That's different. But when you have, but death matches, because of the setup and everything, like, and the thing that's easy to forget too is that all the death matches are actually locked into the Big Garden Arena, not the USA Dome like we use. So that's kind of a slight factor there. Slight, not a big factor, but a slight factor. So I think, yeah, starting next season, it's either going to be credits per extra death match or a flat season fee for death matches. I'm a little unsure at the moment on which one I might make it optional between the two, to be honest, because I know Eli loves doing death matches a lot in his shows, but I do want there to be. I want to try to keep things as even as possible without taking away the freedom of booking. Because that's definitely something that I definitely don't want to do. Also, yeah, to be honest, for a while I made the 3, because the default for cage matches is escape, it's not 3 count, so to be honest, that could be a factor there. I am curious on making the default for cage matches maybe escape, and maybe that will make a difference, because we really haven't tested escape matches all that much on stream, and I would like to see if maybe we can, maybe if we do some, maybe we can see that, yeah, like escape matches can have variety of like lows and highs. But we'll just have to see. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a big update on the Discord after the stream for stuff. Gangrel with the interference there. Have to. But yeah, Cage. But yeah, I mean, because I didn't want to do them the same way I do the Battle Royale matches. Because the Battle Royale matches, those are almost guaranteed, like, high ratings. And death matches, they're not as guaranteed. They can be low rating. But at the same time, like, it kind of defeats the purpose. It also kind of defeats the purpose of, like, selecting specific arena and having, like, everyone have entrances if someone books all death matches that eliminates all of those things. I kinda would like to have, like, some balancing there. And if you're gonna do more than like set the limitations of free stuff, then there should be some extra, like, pay there. And plus, a lot of you guys have so many credits that I feel like adding up the fee stuff a little bit won't hurt any of you, really. Kind of interesting. Doink and Gangrel are both current champions here. Gangrel, the current IGW champion. Doink, the current Overlord champion. The IGW Infernal champion was just crowned the last GSW event. Rey Mysterio getting the win there over Darby Allin. STF on Doink, he breaks out of it. Talk to the wolf. Yeah, I don't know. Cause I already have to, like, cut out some of his guys after the season ends because they're not, like, fighting game characters. I don't think it's a lot. I think it's only a couple. Texas Cloverleaf right there. Like one or two, like 2 or 3 max. I don't think it's a lot. Because here's the thing, I don't mind, like, fighting game characters or beat 'em up characters getting used because the nature of those characters reasonably fits well in this game. And you can do a lot with those characters. It's just more about the characters that, like have no business being in a game like this being used. And it's like this isn't what we're going for here with TWN stuff. Big drop kick. Oh, big tiger suplex. Roll up. Only gets 1. Gangrel still looking strong. Power bomb goes up top, waiting for him to stand. Oh, diving European uppercut. Yeah, I think a lot of it with Eli's characters, I think what really, like, gives them, like, makes them tricky against, like, regular characters more than anything. I just think that a lot of it is just, like, the setup of them in terms of, like, the size, the moveset, and everything. I think it's just the perfect storm. And I don't know, it could be little things, to be honest. Oh, the whoopee cushion. I think because a lot of, also that does right, I think because a lot of his characters have, like, pinning moves, I think the fact that he had a lot of characters with pinning combo moves kind of makes a difference, but It's hard to say. Between neck breaker. And plus, to be honest, I think, and that's the thing too, like Eli's promotion's the only one to win like the season twice, so he definitely has the higher marks out of everyone right now. Oh, look, title change. $75 though. The plumber gets the pin, yeah. Oh man, it's gonna be weird when Collision airs. Man, both promotions are in a very weird spot right now because none of them are necessarily bad right now, but it feels like both of them just feel like in a state of meh. Like we went through, like with WWE, there was a period of like, oh wow, Triple H is in charge. Everything, the storm is over. We're gonna have greatness, and then the rumors started with Vince, and then everyone got depressed, and then the whole buy thing happened. So it's like, well, Vince is there, but he's not. Triple H is in charge, or is he? And now everyone just feels meh about the whole thing now. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean AEW is slightly better right now because I feel like they kind of, because unlike WWE, I think they try a little harder, like trying to get actual wrestling stuff going as opposed to like the superstar isms. But next match here is Styles versus Jericho for the broadcast title. But at the same time, with AEW too, it's like I have noticed people, especially after the Double or Nothing pay-per-view, I have noticed that I started hearing some people are starting to kind of get a little, are kind of ready for them to do something a little bit more, I don't know. I kind of feel like with AEW, I would like to see them start to be a little more organized. That's the biggest thing, because it feels like they're doing all this stuff, but yet there doesn't seem to be an effort to like put like something in place for like. Yeah, like, yeah, exactly. That's why I don't watch the shows. Like, and I heard they were gonna make. I heard there's a possibility they're gonna make SmackDown 3 hours long, like Raw, and I'm just like, and it's so weird because they also say stuff like, because they claim they're earning so much money from having Raw 3 hours and justifying SmackDown being 3 hours. And personally, I can't see how they make that much money, but yet barely anyone like watches the shows. Like, maybe they're all watching it on like Peacock or some other place streaming and not like actual TV. But I don't know. Yeah, and that's a big thing too. I feel like Tony Khan, I think he has the right idea with a lot of things, but I just feel like he's stretching himself way too thin. Because now he's going to have two main shows. He's going to have Rampage that's just going to be like he's pretty much turning Rampage into Sunday Night Heat in a nutshell, which I like Sunday Night Heat stuff. I like that, but it didn't feel like it was going to be Heat when it first came out. But then again, when Sunday Night Heat first came out, they were thinking of that as a solid second show until SmackDown came out. So that's how it is there. But then you got the TBS Championship, though, because the TBS Championship is tied to Rampage because it airs on TBS. So what does it say about Rampage and the TBS Championship if you're relegated to, like, a secondary a B-card show like that? It's a little bit of weird thinking there, but I kind of get why they do it, though. I don't know. I'm not saying they need like a roster divisions for the shows. I don't know if that's, even though they have the size for it, and I believe they should, I don't think that's necessary, but I would like to see more, I don't know, like they do all this stuff with record keeping and stuff, but yet I feel like that really works with like belt divisions. Like at the very least, I would like to see like actual divisions for the belts, so we kind of have a rough idea where everyone's like at. Oh, thank God, that scared me. Because when it's just all these belts all over the place and there's no sense of organization, it's hard to keep track of who's going for what or who's doing with what. You know, like if AEW is gonna capitalize on the sport elements of wrestling with the records, I mean, going a couple steps further, I think would benefit them. Not to the extent where it eliminates the surprises and the come out of nowhere moments, but to an extent to make things feel a little bit clearer, so people at home could be like, okay, this guy's doing this with this and that, as opposed to, oh, this guy's doing this now out of nowhere. Needs to fall off a cliff. Oh, the international division? Yeah, because here's the thing. This is what it feels like they have right now. They have an AEW, they have the AEW Championship, the AEW Tag Championship, the Trios Championships, the TNT Championship, which is pretty much a TV title that's exclusive to Dynamite pretty much, for the most part. And then the International Championship, which is pretty much, I mean, you could call it maybe their secondary title if it wasn't for the TNT Championship. I don't know how it would compare to that. I know at first the idea was for it to be defended outside the promotion for promoting stuff and whatnot, but I don't know if they're going to stay committed to that long term. Then for the women's side, you have the AEW Women's Championship. I don't know if they have Women Tag Championships yet. I don't know if they have that, but I do like that they have I do like that the TBS title is exclusive for the women. I do like they have a secondary women's title like that. I think for a promotion that does get criticized a lot for how they book their women, I do like the fact they do have a secondary title for them. But at the end of the day, I don't know, like, I'm fine with belts being exclusive to shows like channel stuff and all that, but I feel like if you're gonna do that with certain, I feel like you should do it for more than just one, like 2 belts. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like with, like, I don't know, it's a weird thing, like, the International Championship. But here's the other thing too, like Collision's going to be on TNT with Dynamite, so the TNT Championship's going to bounce in between those shows. I don't know, like, and that's the crazy thing, if you really put it on favorite title song. Me too. Yeah, and that's the thing, I'm not against Orange Cassidy, but here's, oh, crossbody the outside, but the biggest issue with the joke characters is the fact that, like, I don't know, I don't mind characters that are a little bit eccentric on the humorous side, but I don't know, there should be shit happening. Like, for example, the Danhausen Hook thing that started back up eons ago. Like, at first, it looked like they were gonna, like, fight each other a little bit, and I kind of liked that dynamic they had at first, because I thought it worked well, but they never did anything with it. And I don't know, I felt like if you're gonna have, like, a rivalry for, like, that division, loose division of guys of that size, I think Danhausen and Hook would have worked well, especially if Danhausen was a little bit, yeah, a little bit silly, but maybe like, but my favorite rivalries are rivalries that bring like something out of each other. Like how Stone Cold made Bret Hart more like cheating and vicious through it. Oh, Jericho retains. You know, like something like that with Danhausen and Hook, like something like that. I think it would have been a great like cornerstone for that, but they didn't do anything with it, and I don't know. I think it's kind of a missed opportunity because I know they wanted to make Hook like a big guy for a while, but and I'm not saying like small guys can't be giant killers, but man, Hook is like a stick at times, and I'm just like I need like if this guy's gonna be competing against big guys, he needs to get a little bit more stocky a little bit. Like Taz, his dad Taz wasn't a big guy, but he was like stock. Like, you could believe he could get big guys like that, but a big, elite, reasonably sized at least. Jericho retains it there. Yeah. Yeah, Orlando, how you doing? But yeah, I would like to see... Because if you put the AEW titles on paper, they don't really have that many belts, necessarily. He needs to... Yeah, he can, but it's like, again... Yeah, sure, Orlando. Here's the thing. I think AEW would benefit if they added a cruiserweight division. I think that would be interesting if they did that. Because they got guys that... They got a lot of big names and stuff, but having them mix in with the bigger guys, it can work and it has worked before, but it doesn't always work. And I don't know, like if you really look at it on paper, let's see, 1, 2, 3. The men's side at least only has like 5 belts. You know, so I'm not saying they need more belts, because if you compare it to something like WCW during the late 90s, they had like 1, 2. They had 5 belts too. So it's not anything out of the ordinary. They just need to do a way better job organizing their stuff. That's the way I feel, because for a roster that yeah, and that's the thing. WCW, yeah, they had the talent, they had the roster for it, the names, yeah. Like across the board, they had guys, and that's the thing. It's not like AEW doesn't have guys, but they got so many people. They don't know how to promote them. They don't know how to mix everyone in together. They don't know how to give everyone something to do. I'd say probably do it July, because like I said before, I don't know when I'm going to be doing sports game reviews again, because I still got to gather games for that, and I haven't been in a position to do that, unfortunately. Unless we get other people fulfilling requests outside of you, Rolando, for stuff. Next match, TWN Tag Championships, Rhodes defending against the American Cobras. But yeah, exactly. But that's the thing. Like that's why stories and rivalries are so important in wrestling, because it builds stuff up. Even if the guys aren't going after any belt. I mean, look at the DDP Randy Savage rivalry. That wasn't over any belt or anything. It's one of the best rivalries ever. I just feel like that more than anything can make like stars outside of titles. Okay, Rolando. Lose. I have to see it. Jake Roberts and Dusty Rhodes. Ooh, 3 Rhodes in this match. We'll have to see how that goes. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. I think... Yeah. Well, and here's the other thing, too, and this is easy to forget, too. They're still using Ring of Honor as kind of their developmental show to a degree. So I feel like there's a lot of guys that they probably want to bring up for, like, other stuff is there, and they're just not ready yet. Because, again, they're not really using Rampage like an NXT show. They're kind of going to be using it more as kind of like a B show for, like, leftover... Because I think they said it was going to lead... They said because they were going to record that after Dynamite, so there's going to be a lot of Dynamite isms in Rampage, even though it's not really... You know, it's just weird. Like, I just feel like... Because here's the thing about... Everyone mocks, like, WWE's, like, you know, show wars and show, you know, roster drafts and all that. But here's the thing with that. If you have the right roster for that... That could be excellent because it allows you to organize everybody and it gives everybody something to do, everybody something to chase for, and everybody an equal platform to showcase their stuff. When you have what you're doing right now in AEW, like, everyone gets lost in the shuffle, everyone forgets what's going on, you don't know what shows are going for what. I don't know. I just kind of... I think you just gotta base it on the roster you have. And right now, I feel like AEW will benefit from a roster draft way more than WWE. Like, by a landslide. I don't think WWE has the roster. Yeah, exactly. I haven't watched it myself, but that's the thing with WWE and NXT, because with NXT, I mean... Raw and SmackDown, even though they just did the roster draft, those guys cross over all the time. But with NXT, guys, crossovers between those shows and NXT isn't something that happens very often. Like, NXT definitely feels like its own thing a lot of the time. But yeah, like... But yeah, because from what I heard with that draft that they did was that there's like a lot of stuff they're still setting up for, like, shows being their own thing and stars being their own thing. It's just, instead of doing all that first and then doing a draft, for some reason they just did the draft first and are doing everything else after the fact, and it's just so weird. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not saying Vince is in charge of creative or anything, but I do feel like there's a lot of pacing issues in how they choose to develop stuff. And here's the thing, they don't have that many people on the roster. If you really look at it, they don't have that many people. I mean, if you really constructed it right, you really don't need, like, for the amount of guys they have, they don't need that much TV time with Raw and SmackDown. They really don't. But that's the thing, Ring of Honor would be perfect for an NXT-like thing there. It's perfectly set up for that. Yeah, at this point, I don't know. I mean, I'm at a point where I don't know what to believe in anymore, because everything's been, like, mishmashed and this and that. It's so hard to, like, really decide what's actually going on, because here's the thing, I legit feel like if Vince was trying, I don't think Triple H would really, like, if Vince was legit trying to do all that, I don't know if Triple H would really, like, accept that, because he has no reason to. Like, Triple H could leave WWE tomorrow, start his own promotion, and instantly overnight, like, have something, because I legit do believe Triple H knows what he's doing. There's just something going on there. I don't know if it's a Vince thing or not. I don't know if it has to do with wrestling contracts, or maybe they bit off more than they can chew. But and it could be a superstar thing, like I said, because I've been hearing a lot of Bray Wyatt stuff as of late. And I've been hearing that they told Bray that what he was doing with the Uncle Howdy story and all that was not cutting it, and they wanted him to bring back the Fiend, but he was against that. And combine that with possible some soreness or injuries or something, and that's why we haven't really seen him, is because they just told him outright, this shit isn't cutting it. You need to do something else. And I kind of agree with WWE a little bit. Like, I feel like Bray, I don't know, like, I think Bray's fantastic in a lot of ways with wrestling and stuff, but I think he's at his point in his career where I think he just needs a true break from wrestling, because it just feels like, he cares more about the horror story stuff than the actual wrestling stuff. Yeah, and that's probably true. It's like that CM Punk quote that feels like it ages terribly and ages good, like in a cycle where things won't change until he dies. And I don't know, maybe that's what it, maybe, I mean, given his age, I don't know how long it's gonna take. I mean, the guy's like super old now. Yeah, I like him, but man, I just feel like, to me, it's like, part of me just wants to tell him, you know, just make a horror movie or horror franchise or write something like that and just get it out of your system, because you're not going to get what you're looking for in wrestling. You're just not. You can't do what you're doing and expect it to sell. You can't have 3 months of stories and then have one 5-minute squash match against LA Knight at one of the biggest pay-per-views in WWE and expect it to be okay, you know? And I think what really ruined that whole thing is the fact that nothing advanced, nothing was revealed, nothing changed. It was just the status quo ever since it started. And I don't know, I just kind of, you know, in hindsight, a lot of the people Triple H brought back, a good majority of them really didn't pan out. Like, the decisions they made cutting all those guys, maybe they were the right decisions. Maybe they had it right first time around. Yeah, C tier. And to be honest, to be fair, I don't know how, like, I think a lot of it just has to do with the fact that, of budget, because I don't know how big of a budget they give wrestlers for that kind of stuff. Because horror in wrestling is a very tricky thing to do. Always. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, if none of them panned out with Triple H in charge over Vince, in all honesty, I just think they just don't, I just think they just need to start focusing on, well, that's the problem, because they have those huge platforms right now, but they don't have the star power for it. It's like they're in the next generation era all over again. But it's worse this time, because they have all this airtime, but they don't have the wrestlers to match it. Like, if you gave AEW this amount of airtime, like, it'd be a more balanced mix. And they're probably, and I think, here's the thing, I think the max outlet for a wrestling show should be 2 2-hour shows and maybe 1 hour B show or something. Or a developmental show, that's it. Yeah, to be honest, outside of, like, whatever people say about the Bloodline, I'm always mixed about that. I think the Judgment Day have actually grown into something I actually enjoy, because what I like about the Judgment Day is that what keeps them fresh to me is that you don't know if they're gonna win or lose. They're not booked in a way where everything feels fixed and predictable. Like, and the thing is, they generate genuine heat, like organic heat, especially with Dominic. Like, and that's a big thing. And I don't know. Like, the only thing they really haven't done is, like, win belts, which was corrected with Rhea Ripley. They kind of remind me, low-key, a lot of the Right to Censor group a little bit, because they didn't win a lot of belts either, and they weren't really super big, but they were well executed. They were a woman was kind of leading the charge a little bit in the group a little bit, and I don't know, like, they really worked their way up after kicking out Edge. That was a weird thing they did there. Have died by now. Yeah, Finn Balor, yeah, I don't know, I mean, it's a tricky thing. I do think that they're probably gonna break up soon, which I think is kind of a shame. I kind of would like to see them like win some key matches or rivalries or maybe a title or two before that happens, but because really, in all honesty, like the Judgment Day at this point, it's kind of a vehicle for like Balor's already established. Rhea Ripley's kind of the star of it, even though she's kind of been a star already for a bit. It's really been more of a vehicle for Dominic into a little bit of a smaller extent, Priest. Yeah, to be honest, she's kind of ready for that. But also that women's tag division is just garbage in WWE. It really is. And I don't, like I said, I don't know if AEW has a women's tag division, but I don't know. I just feel like with the it feels like on one hand they're so close and so desperate to have a women's tag division, but it just feels like they're just not quite there. It's kind of like the women's Royal Rumble. It's like, oh man, you're so close. Oh, director's cut. You're so close to getting that, but it doesn't quite feel right. Oh, look! The champs retain! Yeah. But you got a 96 though, and you're gonna get some bonuses there. So you know, bright side of things overall. All right, main event, triple threat. Cody needs his face left. Yeah, the redesign. You know what? I think I can redesign him without changing, like, cause really, if I can change his appearance and nothing bad will happen. The only time it affects stuff if you change if you change whether he's a junior or a heavyweight. That's the only thing that changes. I just haven't been very good lately about keeping up with the visual updates of the game. Although the other night I just went through a big look through on the YWA side of things. So I'll try to make some time for that. The model I have downloaded is missing parts, so I kind of have to download the extra parts so I can have full access to his thing, so I can kind of clone his design over to the other guy. Because the guy we have now, like, his moveset's, like, perfect. I have it perfectly put, and I try to avoid redoing movesets if I can just change the look of the guy, like, on that model. But yeah. Yeah, I just gotta remember to do it. That's the biggest thing. Yeah, the trick with this game, because when I first got this game, I made the mistake of, like, just blindly downloading everything. And now it's like, it's filled up, so now so really, the strategy with this game more than anything is, just when you download wrestlers and you want to correct them, just focus on, like, the movesets and the AI, like if there's moves not in the game that you need for a wrestler, just get those specific moves, and if you need specific parts, just get those specific parts, and just Frankenstein it on kind of a basic model. That's the way I feel about it, at least, because then that way you got stuff you got the minimum for uniqueness, but you don't have a cajillion things downloaded that you don't need or use at the same time. I wish I started out like that, but when I first got this game, I just went crazy with it. Just played every mode, just insanity. Yeah. Like, because there's actually, despite the amount of moves in the game, there are moves that aren't in this game that you can find. online pretty easily. Although some of the name terms for some of the moves can throw you off a little bit, so you definitely have to really stretch your mind a little bit for finding the right moves. Let's see, where is that GSW? There it is. Taka defending in a triple threat match against Mr. Perfect and John Cena. Come on. There we go. Alright. Okay, let's see how this one goes here. Make or break for Cena. Yeah, I get you there. Yeah, and that's the thing with like the TW and YW stuff is that the only thing about it is that I think about other potential projects. I'm like, yeah, I don't have time for that. Like I've thought about like some stuff I thought about maybe doing like and I mentioned this before too, but doing something that's TWN like, but all the wrestlers are 100% fictional. That'd definitely be a niche thing. So probably nothing like we're kind of doing that already with RCW a little bit, but it's kind of I have to finish that setup up though. The other thing, what was that other thing I was just thinking about? That's what it was. Like a fun. That's the other thing. I just thought about this the other day too. Like it's kind of like TWN, but everyone starts out with like an era of a roster, someone starts with one promotion can start with the WWE Next Generation era roster. One starts with Attitude Era. One starts with early 90s WCW. One starts with AWA in the 70s. Just stuff like various eras like that, and then they just go from there. And just in something like that, like similar TWN function, just like everyone's starting point is a different era of wrestling in a promotion. But man, that'd be such a setup.
Give up.
And yeah, and that's the thing. TWN's just like the ultimate like regular wrestler thing. Like anything, like really anything like beyond like fictional wrestling and real wrestling with like the wrestling characters, like YW and TWN pretty much has all of that covered. Anything else, like it would definitely there definitely would have to be like a lot of voices screaming for it. Yeah. And that's the thing too with this game, like to do stuff like that, especially with like the real like the era promotion thing, I would have to create duplicates of everybody like we got and use it for that, because the other way would be like, because these models we have, those are the singular converter models. I would have to duplicate them. The created wrestlers I wouldn't mind doing, but you would have to create them, and plus the wrestlers being created, there would have to be a lot of back and forth on what would be wanted there. So the created one would be a lot more doable, in all honesty, because it would allow for like creativity and how many people, the styles and everything. With the era stuff, we're kind of already doing that with TWN. It's just a lot crazier. in the YWA thing, it'd still be separate from the YWA thing, because YWA is kind of a singular thing, not like a promotional thing. So I don't know. It's something to think about long term. I don't know if I'm gonna tackle any of that right now. I'm kind of happy with, because right now, like I said, there's really at this point the three basic things for streaming that I have is this YWA and the RCW stuff. Anymore, I feel like I'd be like overkilling it. Yeah, exactly. Like it would. The trick of it would be making sure everyone, attitude adjustment, everyone followed like the point system, because the 226 point system and design like would be same like across everyone. So it would be very important to make sure everyone was doing that across the board, which if we're going to do a call version of TWN, then that would be really, really niche. Really niche. So anyone that is getting into it, I feel like they would be pretty committed enough to follow it to the T a little bit. But that's the thing too, like that kind of stuff, I don't know like when I'll ever get to that, just mainly because like the three I just mentioned was streaming, but I also kind of wanted to do something this summer for like Super Mega Baseball or Super Blood Hockey. Oh! You know, for streaming like the season or franchise mode, but I gotta be able to balance everything out. It can be tricky because I don't necessarily want to sacrifice anything specifically, but there's only so much time in the day. Brainbuster.
Yeah.
Like 4. Well, it reflects real life, so there's the accuracy right there.
Give up. Give up. Yeah.
Wow, look at those counters. Super kick. Oh, Taka makes Mr. Perfect tap. Taka retains. Cena just couldn't break it up. '84. Alright, let's do those calculations here and see how... Well, what do you know? I mean, Cena gets protected in that loss, and Mr. Perfect's the one that takes the fall. I will say, despite some of the results not being what you were looking for, you actually had an excellent night with these. Taka's a monster. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got an 87 for this one. Like, Star Fox and TWL, they're gonna have their work cut out for them here, because you had a lot of big matches in this one. Now I'll have to do some credit calculations. Yeah, I'll be streaming them a little bit. I'm going to grab some dinner first. So probably another hour, hour and a half 2 hours is stretching it. That'd probably be the bare limit of how late I'll go with that. But that probably wouldn't be that. And then I'll be streaming TWL, and we're gonna see how well that gets compared. I'm gonna do some credit calculations here as well, see how much you got for this specific show. But yeah, I'll also post an update in Discord of all the stuff I just said here out for the W on that war. Yeah, I will say though, I think if we do end up getting a tie, I know I've mentioned what would the tiebreaker be before, but I think, to be honest, I think the best tiebreaker we could have for the war, if it comes to it, would probably be a collaboration pay-per-view. I think that'd be the best tiebreaker right there, but we'll just have to see how things go on that one there. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this one. But yeah, outside of the next stream, for later tonight, that's gonna do it for this specific stream here, guys. Thanks for watching. In case you guys wanted to chat with anyone at the Campy Company, and you don't want to use the YouTube comment section, we do have a couple options. First one is we have a Discord channel. You can find a link to that in the About page / About section of our channel. We also have a community tab in our channel as well. You can access that anywhere at any time. We also have a Patreon page as well. Main goal of the page is to raise money for the channel. Thanks, LJC. Give the channel. But also, but yeah, the Patreon stuff. I definitely gotta get going on that stuff. Been a minute. I got something there. But yeah, overall though, any support we get for Patreon is very much appreciated. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like the videos, and have a good day.